Well, to get started, what are some of your thoughts on the team this year?
As always, I think people are really excited. This time of year, if we weren't excited, there'd probably be something wrong. But even kind of just going back to the 2023 season, we came up short for what we had set out to do, and that there was no lack of effort on our players' part or our staff's part. It just some things just didn't fall our way. I think we ended up 16 or 17 of our losses were 2 runs or less, and we played the toughest schedule in all of Division II. So, kind of unfinished business that way. Our returners did a really good job, even dating back to coming in August, really fit and strong. And I think they communicated well with our incoming kids via transfers or freshmen. And those two groups did a really good job of coming in strong and fit as well. And so it's just been a really good fall. We got to bring our team back early in January. We picked practice up again on January 3rd because we did an international trip to Panama. So practiced for a week, then got to go and play abroad and team build abroad, which was just an outstanding experience for everybody involved in our program. And so now I think we're ready to hit the ground running with how long we've been going in January, and really, really excited to kick it off starting tomorrow with Cotter and Flagler.
And when you look at our team this year, what do you see our biggest strengths being?
I think going back to last year, I think we had one of the best pitching staffs in Division II, right? So we had, the three-headed monster of Barnhart, Lee, and Angelico, and, all of them were, major statistical, in the top 5 in the conference and some things nationally as well. Barnhart going into her senior year, has every year has been at a minimum second in the region in strikeout. So obviously it kind of starts there, but we brought in depth in the pitching position with 2 freshmen. So we're excited about them, and we feel like we've got 5 uniquely different arms to be able to throw. And so that was a conversation I had with our pitching staff way back in August, that the only way this works is if we check our ego at the door, because we can't pitch 5 pitchers at the same time. So the only way we get the best out of everybody is that we don't care who gets the win or who's the Friday night pitcher or who has the most starts or whatever, and that we can be more matchup and situational based. But that's kind of bled over into the rest of our group with, the amount, we only graduating 1 last year and Riley Lord, so the amount of returners that we brought back, but also our freshman class and then transfer class, that, we've got really good depth in the catching department, which was a major weakness for us a year ago. Harper Bunn really did an outstanding job for us as a freshman, but we overcaught her. We didn't really have a good backup situation with some injuries, and as a freshman, I think she had to catch 52 of our 54 games. So we've got some really great depth in with our catching and kids that can play other spots as well. And then we added into the infield and then our outfield. So depth and the ability to really play a lot of kids over the course of the 4-game season that we're playing in the regular season. I think probably the biggest area that we upgraded in, though, is offensively. That was our bugaboo a year ago. As a pitching staff, we gave up 2 runs a game, but we only scored 2 runs a game. And when Taylor Thompson went out with injury, in the middle of March, we really, really struggled to score when she went out from the leadoff spot. So I feel like for the first time in my 7 years at Berry that we have, we've got hitters up and down the lineup 1 through 9, and that then we can bring kids off the bench to situationally hit and compete if God forbid somebody goes down with an injury or whatever.
And you talked about the toughest schedule last season. The Sunshine State Conference is a very competitive conference. How do you think our non-conference schedule will really prepare us for?
Yeah, well, back to the conference for a second. A year ago, the top 3 seeds in the regional were out of our conference, right? Tampa was the number 1 team in the country for a good month and a little bit, to end the regular season. Nova, won their regional and then went into Tampa and the Super Regional and popped them and got to the World Series. So And the crazy part is with some of the COVID stuff, and we're super excited to get Cassie Lee for a 5th year, but it's like nobody in the conference really graduated their top kids, at least the top 4 or 5 teams in the conference. So I keep waiting for some of those players to graduate, and it's like they're on year 6 and they're still playing. So so conference is going to be tough. As it always is, every weekend is a unique challenge because everybody has different styles of play and different things that they like to do. So so that makes it unique in terms of the prep. Our non-conference schedule. We kick off with Flagler and Catawba this weekend. Catawba was one of the most improved teams in Division II a year ago and has a really good history in softball. So we're excited to play them 3 times, and then Flagler has been one of the tougher Peach Belt schools, since they started softball back, I think around 2007, 2006. Then next weekend we play St. A's, who was at regionals a year ago. We play Bentley, who was in regionals a year ago. We play Auburn Montgomery, who's regional, and they were in regionals a year ago. And then we come home, play a really scrappy, and I'm sure they'll be even better this year, Colorado Mines team, who I think we had a 13 or 14 inning game with a year ago, and then East Stroudsburg, who ended up also going to the World Series, and they're the preseason number 5 team in the country. And then we get into conference, for a couple weekends with Florida Southern and Embry-Riddle, our conference opener, and then St. Leo before spring break, and they're another top 20 program. So so it's just one right after the other, and it's the conference is a bear, but we try to put our schedule to put us in the best position to not only compete in conference, but to try to gain a regional bid if for some reason we fall short in winning the regular season and getting the AQ.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just looking forward to the season. Some dates to remember. We're going to be. We've got different senior nights spread out over the course of our home conference season. The first one being Taylor Thompson with Embry-Riddle on our first conference weekend, and then our third conference weekend, second home weekend, will be Amber Jack Night on Friday night. Amber just recently went into our Wall of Honor, and then Macy Barnhart. We're honoring her on Saturday. So just some things to be aware of, and we still also have opportunity to get behind us with our Win with the Bucks campaign. So that's a pledge program for every win that we get. You pledge a dollar amount for that. So any dollar amount is really greatly appreciated.